Yeah. Welcome to Atlanta. Hammers and bows, back to the mackin' and the clothes. Adolescents packing a knock on the door. Who is it? I would happen to know the one with the flow. Who did? It was me, I suppose. JD in the rolls and Luda's in the cut supreme. Skating down old Nat, tucked and lean. Your spleen, as a matter of fact, I your team. No blood on the sneaks, gotta keep it so my kicks is clean. I get the cream, cops see me flick my beams. I'm allergic to doc prescribed antihistamines. Oink, oink, pig, pig, do away with the pork. Only silverware needs a steak knife and a fork. Did you forget your manners? I'm Bruce with banners. Ludacris, Johnny Rockets when I the cannon. The woolly mammoth, saber tooth. Bite your tongue, I won't stop until I'm rich as them whites will come. I pull up in a black Lotus, your plaques are bogus, so I stripped them off the wall, waiting for my cue to corner pocket 8 balls. You racking them up, I'm big paper like pancakes, stacking them up. In fact, I'm slapping them up. Cadillac is a truck, I can't lose with 22s. That's what's up. Running in the back, the better than the aqueduct. Chilling in the wood.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Now the party don't start till I walk in and I usually don't leave until the thing is. But in the meantime, in between time, you work your thing, I work mine. I've been putting it down here since 83, since the Lake Show MD rivalry, when Frozen Paradise was the place to be. If you was riding, you was bumping the homie Shy D. I'm the MVP, most ballingest player. Make my own rules, call me the mayor. Monday night, Gentlemen's Club. Tuesday night, I'm up in the Velvet Room getting up. Wednesday, I'm at Strokers on Lean.
From Lakeland, Florida, huh? Whereabouts in Florida is Lakeland?
Right on the flow is where you can find me. Saturday is off the heezy for sheezy. You can find me up in one tweezy.
Can't wait to get in here with Carolina Jackpot, Pigskin Pete, and who's the third man? Does anyone remember in WCW the Hogan heel turn? Who's the third man? You just sold your soul to the devil, Hulk Hogan. I hope you're happy.
And we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play, and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
East of Tampa. All right. Well, welcome, Kevin Hawthorne.
Hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play, and we ride on them things like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
They took it to 10. I got calling. Young Shekels fall. Where's Ollie with them dough? I be ballin' like the good night pro.
Good to see Mr. Burns in here. How many days is it until the first game in college football? Someone tell me in the chat. Someone tell me.
Steph West, stay with the pole. You go around and get pole.
15 days. Holy shit. Woo!
Calling a young Shekels fall.
College football coming.
I be ballin' like a midnight pro. I be ballin' like my mo.
What is that Kinsey? This is an all-inclusive channel here. We need maybe we can get that. We can get a translator. We can get a sign language person. Pete, do you think we could hook that up?
Yeah, Shaq West said I'm getting really rich. See how I put it, cause I'm really with this. See me in the streets and I be really with a bad, straight rock, straight see me when they see me, they be copy.
Perfect. Pete will be a panelist and the sign language translator tonight. Appreciate it, buddy.
Shackles phone. Where's Ollie? With the muff.
Let's take a turn here. How about that? If you love the Mamba, you will love Journey. I'm sure of it.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in
Yeah, a lot of people high on the Jackets. I don't think I've ever seen this many people talking about Georgia Tech positively before. Love to see it.
a singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting.
It's time for College Football Weekly! Welcome to the greatest college football show on YouTube. Talking about Bill Belichick and all of his blue chews. Who will win? Who will be our hero? And who will Carolina jackpot smash with a Dr. Pepper Zero? College Football Weekly. College Football Weekly. College Football Weekly. Uncle Lou is ranting again, calling Dabo a washed up has-been, something Pigskin Pete would never admit. You can hear his wife saying, "This is bullshit." College Football Weekly. College Football Weekly. College Football Weekly. Calling out Alabama for week 1. Do you know where FSU has been? A dog shit season. Can you say 2-10? Cast a dude who starts fast but loses to an IO. College Football Weekly.
What is going on, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic Friday night. Let me unmute my guest here. How are you boys doing? I do this every time I'm muted for them. How are you guys doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. Are you ready to see who the mystery third man is for tonight?
I'm so excited I can hardly stand it.
All right, here we go. Tonight, WreckTalk joins the hunt. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to let the people vote at the end of this show on who you scored any way you want. This is a democracy, guys. And I'm not doing this just because I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. This was planned well before this morning. Anyways, let's just hop right into it. All right. Look, we're evidently 15 days away from the start of the season, so let's go over some win totals. Let's start with the ACC. Give me win totals for Clemson, Miami, Georgia Tech, FSU. Pick that's a lot of teams. Let's pick two. Pick two that you're the most confident in. And I'll start because I've previewed two of these teams. I will pick... I've previewed three of these teams. I think I will pick Georgia Tech. Actually, I won't pick Georgia Tech. I'll pick Clemson and FSU. I have a season preview for Georgia Tech coming out tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that. I've got Clemson going 10-2, I believe, with losses to Louisville and jackpot South Carolina. I'm high on Clemson this year. Look, they're the only team I think that has both their quarterback room and their wide receiver room top 5 in the PFF. Clemson's going to have a dominant offense. Question of whether their defense is markedly better, stopping the run with new DC. Who else did I say? Florida State 0-12. They're dog shit. I'll pass it to Pete.
Does it have to be one of those four teams that you mentioned, or what?
You know what? If you want to pick another ACC team, you go right ahead.
All right. So I'm not going to deal with Clemson because I'm a Clemson fan. Obviously, I'm biased.
Yeah.
So I will start with one that probably not many people outside of the ACC are talking about, and that's Duke. I've got Duke having back-to-back 9-win seasons. They had one last year with Manny Diaz's first year as head coach there. And I think if you look at their schedule, this isn't me thinking that Duke is some great ACC team. I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to compete for the championship. But if you look at their schedule, it's very favorable. We just went it over the other night on the ACC show, and we came up with 9 wins, and so I'm confident with that. The second one, you said pick two, right?
Yeah, pick two.
The second one I'm going to go with, another preview we've already done, is Miami. I've got them going 11-1. Who that is going to be to, I don't know. They don't play Clemson. I know that. I don't think they play Georgia Tech either, do they?
Miami does not. They dodged Georgia Tech this year.
So, yeah, I've got them. I think they'll drop one somewhere. Who knows who that'll be to, but I've got them going 11-1.
I guess you got them losing to Notre Dame then.
Probably. Yeah.
Jackpot, pick two ACC teams. Forget my list here. Any two ACC teams, tell me what their record's going to be this year.
I've got, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fantastic.
Cool. I wore some earphones so that I could try to get rid of some of that background noise. I got SMU under that 8.5. If you look at their schedule, they got two tough out-of-conference games against Big 12 teams in Baylor and I believe it's TCU. Those are two games that they could drop. And then last year where they had like the really advantageous schedule where they dodged like Clemson, Miami, Louisville, all the contenders. They dodged them. This year they get all of them. Some of them on the road. I think they play Clemson on the road too.
So how under are they? You got them under 8.5. What do you got their record at?
I looked at it and I think they go like 8-4. I think they're 8-4, 7-5 team. I think that they're here to stay. I think their commitment to playing Power 4 football is real. I just think their schedule is just kind of tough, and they take a little bit of a step back this year.
All right.
Looking at your team, Georgia Tech, like you're heavy juice to the over 162. And you guys, I mean, you got basically, I mean, you got two games against teams that could be like top 5 teams on your schedule, Clemson and Georgia.
Yep.
And it remains to be seen with Georgia. I expect Clemson will probably be top 5 by the time you play them with Georgia. It's the last game of the season, so who knows what's going to happen between now and then. I expect they'll be pretty good. They always kind of come together. But other than that, I mean, your schedule is really, really manageable. Now, I'm gonna take you over here. I think you're an 8-4, 9-3 type team.
Okay.
But don't take this the wrong way, because this is the same way I feel about South Carolina. They haven't earned my trust enough yet to really go all in on Georgia Tech.
That doesn't offend me.
Games that would be like normally toss-ups. But I think that most of them are going to go in your favor, because I think you've got a good coach and you've got a good roster. So, like the games against the Syracuse, well, Syracuse is not really a toss-up. Like more like the NC State game, I think you play in Raleigh. I mean, I think you guys can win that one. I think you've got a game against Duke. I mean, that could be tough. I mean, I think you guys can win that one. I mean, to be like a 9-3 team, I mean, you got to win those kind of games, and you got to start winning them consistently. But I think you can do that this year. You've got a good roster there.
I appreciate. I could listen to you all night talk about my boy Big D, Brent Key at the helm. All right, let's move.
Well, I mean, if it turns you on, I can keep on going. But
well, I don't know. Does anyone want to see Jackpot turn me on live on the internet?
No.
All right,
Okay.
Pete doesn't want to. Could you sign language? No.
Okay.
All right, sweet. Let's go to the SEC. Again, you don't have to pick my teams. Let's pick 2 SEC teams. Tell me what their record's going to be this year. We'll start with Pete since I went first the last
All right.
time.
Well, I love this because Carolina Jackpot's on here. I feel like I'm higher on the Gamecocks, and that's not good for the show. You want to see me say they're going to go 6-6 or 5-7, and everyone get mad at me. But the reality is, I'm higher on South Carolina this year than I think even my boy Jackpot is.
Wow.
I've got, what's the over under in Vegas? I said 9. You said? Did you say?
I did not. I can look that up for you though.
7.5 is Carolina's over.
7.5. Give me the over on that. That's what I was about to say. They're going to be a 9-3 or 10-2. So
Bang,
give me
bang.
the over if it's 7.5.
7.5, and we were minus money to the. I mean, we were juiced to the over at one point, but now we're at plus 132 to the over.
Yeah, I like the over.
So you got people betting on Carolina to win 7 games or whatever less.
Yeah, I like them. I like them to win at least 8. I mean, that seemed like easy money to me. Lenore Sellers. Now, this all depends on whether or not he stays healthy. So I know,
Sure.
and the same thing's true for Clemson. I think there's a big drop off from the first string quarterback to the second. You got 2 dynamic players, Klubnik and Sellers. But as long as Sellers stays healthy, I think he's good enough to lead them to 9 or 10 wins. So the second one I'll do, you got Texas and Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Texas and take the over on that one too. I like overs, so
Really?
I'm always gonna pick the team I like the over on. I'm gonna say over. What is it for them? 10.
It's got to be high. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
let's see. Texas.
I've got them at 10-2. So if it's 9.5, I'll take the over. If it's 9, or if it's 10, I'll take the under. Or 10.5, I'll take the under.
Let's see. Texas is 9.5 on pretty much every betting site.
Now they do have a pretty rough non-con schedule. They got to play Ohio State. So 10 wins for Texas would be very good, but I think they're good enough to do it.
Makes sense. All right. I will take, and by the way, real quick, I can't believe I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show. A week from today, my man Carolina Jackpot is debating Sports Talk J on this channel. It's going to be a live debate, a somewhat formal debate. We'll have some kind of organization, so y'all will tune in next week. Jackpot, are you excited about that?
I'm very excited. I mean, this has been brewing for like over a year, and I mean, I'm like the only Gamecock fan that I know of who's put it out there to stand up to this guy. I mean, I called him out. I mean, because I want to do this. I called him out to come on our show to begin with, but now he wants to turn it into a debate. That's fine. I mean, as long as I can get him where I want him. Look, yeah, I have facts on my side. I'm going to hit this guy with facts. He has nothing but rumor, speculation, BS,
And conjecture.
circumstantial evidence, which,
Yes.
as you know, doesn't usually stand up in court.
Also, the only kind
How
of
many
evidence.
murders got convicted on circumstantial evidence?
A lot.
Well, then, okay, that's a bad one. Then, that
Almost
analogy.
all of them. Sorry, I'm supposed to be neutral. Go ahead.
No, is WreckTalk? Are you gonna wear a suit or a tuxedo or something?
You know what? I might go rent one of the Dumb and Dumber orange or blue tuxedos to moderate this debate. But yes, I will be the moderator. I think they're both going to get like a 5-minute introduction, 1-minute rebuttal, and then we run into topics. But anyways, not to hijack the show, but I did want to promote that. That is a big deal. My teams. I'll pick Georgia. Georgia's an interesting team to pick this year. Mostly because of their fragile egos, and if you say they're doing anything other than 12-0, they tend to get pissed at you. I got Georgia going 8-3. I think Auburn could be a tricky game for them this year, though I don't know what to expect from Auburn. They're bringing in a pretty good wide receiver in Eric Singleton Jr. Problem is, I don't know if they got anyone to throw it to him, but Auburn's been a tough place for Georgia to play on the road in the past before. Tennessee can be a tough game. I mean, you just look down their schedule. I got Georgia going 8-3, and probably missing the play, or 8-4.
8-3. That means they're missing a game because of a hurricane or something, or what?
Yeah. I'm shitting on Georgia fans. I can't even do math, so that is typical for me. I got them going 9-3. Then let's move on from my stupidity. Let me go to South Carolina. I think it's a crazy time in college football when both South Carolina and Georgia Tech are kind of darlings of college football as far as dark horses are concerned. Can anyone name another time in history where both South Carolina and Georgia Tech were like, hey, these are playoff teams or New Year's Six teams? I can't remember. I got South Carolina going 9-3 as well. I'm high on Lenora Sellers. Although you did hire Jeff Collins, so you probably will go 0-12 with that hire, but I got him going 9-3 with that being said. Jackpot.
Okay, I'm looking at a couple of teams. Alabama at 9.5 wins. I think they go over that. Good lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think that Ty Simpson, I think this guy's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to be able to hit them with a little bit, which Jalen Milroe is supposedly a dual threat. This guy is more of a pocket passer, but he's still a dual threat. He can still do some stuff with his feet when he needs to. I know they do play at Georgia. I mean, that's going to be tough. But their other two games, which I think the South Carolina game is on the road. That's going to be a tough game for them. But you've got Oklahoma at home. They got LSU at home. That Oklahoma game is going to be a revenge spot. They got Vandy at home. You talking about that's a revenge spot. I think that's going to be a belt to ass type game. I think they play Wisconsin from the non-con at home too, and I just that whole Luke Fickell thing just hasn't worked out there. Their wide receiver core is really good. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, pretty good 1-2 punch there. Give me the over with Bama over 9.5. I think that's a pretty easy one to me. And some of these other teams are just so. With Florida, I'm gonna go under this 7.5 because their drop off from QB1 to QB2 is like, I mean, it's like falling off a cliff, dude. And that team plays so much better when DJ Lagway is healthy. I don't think he's going to stay healthy all year. I just think, I'm not like trying to champion injuries here, but I mean, we've all seen it. I mean, he was only healthy half the year last year. And we've heard the thing of all the offseason. He couldn't throw. He couldn't do this, couldn't do that. He's been around in a walking boot. They said, he looks great in practice right now. But, I mean, as soon as he gets roughed up and gets a little bit of contact, I mean, I think something's going to happen again. So they're going to have to go with this. What is this former Tennessee third stringer, Harrison Bailey? I mean, this guy's not going to be able to do anything, and their schedule is tough. I mean, they got Miami on the road. Miami could be better than they were last year, and they've got a really, really good offensive line. And Carson Beck, I mean, this guy, if his head's right, and he's got time to throw the football, he's got time to spread it out there, they can be dangerous. And they've got Texas coming in. They got to go to LSU. I mean, they got to go, I think, to Ole Miss. And all of those games could be losses for them. So I'm going to go under here for Florida. I just think it's a safer bet with them. And when everything hinges on the health of one player, and that one player has shown you a propensity for getting hurt, it's kind of what you got to go with.
Yeah, I mean, that seems fair to me. I mean, Lord knows as a Georgia Tech fan, I know about injuries at the quarterback position. By the way, is Octavian in here? Are you listening? You going to let him talk about your team that way? Let's round this out and let's combine the bigs here. Let's talk about the bigs, the Big 10, the Big 12. Pick one Big 10 team, one Big 12 team. Who are we going to go to? Now we've got ourselves in a pickle. Let's go back to Pete. Pick one Big 10, one Big 12 team. What's their record going to be this year?
All right. Big 12, I'm going Colorado. That is the hottest name in college football that never did anything
Yes,
of recent years.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even know what the over-under is. I'm just going to give you a prediction for a record for them. I'm going to go 6-6. I know it sounds like a nice round number. Okay, maybe 5 wins, maybe 7. I'm going to settle right in on 6. Listen, I'm glad that Deion Sanders is cancer-free and he's going to have a porta potty on the sideline, and that he's going to live many, many more years. And hopefully he coaches many, many more years at Colorado, because for us, it's pure entertainment gold. The problem is the football product is not pure entertainment gold. It's average at best. He's 500 to Colorado. Yes, they had a decent season last year, but they lost 2 generational players in Sanders and Travis. What's his face? Hunter.
Yep.
So look, it's starting over. They're doing something that's never been done before in the history of college football, building the entire roster through the transfer portal as if this is the NFL. Actually, the NFL might be easier because at least those guys are locked into a contract. There's nothing like that going on at Colorado. And the fact that Deion was sick, unfortunately, and missed basically the entire offseason, I bet he's still learning some of these players' names. And here we are about to play a game in a couple of weeks. So I just unless this quarterback they got, who's supposed to be, the best thing since Superman came out, it works out and he's better than Shedeur Sanders was. I think it's going to be a rough year for Colorado. So I'm taking the under on whatever the point total is. It's 6-6.
6.5.
It's 6.5. It's bang. I nailed it right on the head then.
Yep.
I'm going with under 6 for Colorado. Oh, what was the other? The Big 10. Oh man, this is hard. Let's do Penn State.
It's another popular team.
I feel like I'm higher on Penn State, and I get the criticism of James Franklin. He's been there. He's won a lot of games. He's just never, really got over that hump of, consistently beating Ohio State or winning a national championship or anything like that. I still think Penn State is one of the most talented teams in the country. Yes, they lost their defensive coordinator to Clemson, but they went out and hired another stud. I don't think you're going to see too much of a slip up on the defensive side of the ball. The biggest problem with Penn State of recent years has been their passing game has been atrocious. If they can get that, they always have a decent run game. They've always got good lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. So it's just, and typically they have at least decent or above average quarterback play. They haven't had any Heisman caliber quarterbacks really come out, but they don't need to do that. So I think Penn State is probably going to win around 10 games. I would assume that's somewhere around where the line is, 9.5 or 10.
I'll tell you real quick. They have, there's only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with a 10.5 win total. They are it. Ohio State, Oregon, Notre Dame, the other teams with a 10.5 over under. Jackpot, give me a big from the 10, big from the 12.
Okay, I'm going to go with some that are a little bit more obscure here. Give me Kansas over 6.5 wins. If you look at them last year, really disappointing season. I think they finished 5-7. They started off like 1-5, and down the stretch put it together, and they really messed up some team seasons. If you watch them last year against Colorado late in the year, I mean, they absolutely bullied Colorado on both lines of scrimmage, running back ran all over them. Lance Leopold is a really good coach there. And this is another team where the quarterback, Jalen Daniels, who's been there for a couple of years, he's had some injury problems too. He's a big-time dual threat guy. This kid, I think he puts it all together this year and finally stays healthy for a whole season. And I think Kansas goes over that 6.5 win total. They're heavy juice to the over anyway. And I also like their coach. I think they've got a manageable schedule too. They've got their hinge game is going to be, I believe it's week 3. They have a road game at Mizzou. That is that's a big border war that hasn't been waged in like 15 years. I think they beat Mizzou in Columbia, and I think that sets them up to have a really nice season here. Kind of a bounce back year. I think that coach is just too good to go under 500 or like winning 6 games for 2 years in a row. In the Big Ten, I was eyeballing somebody here real quick. I'm kind of looking at their over unders. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Who are we talking about here? Illinois, the ones that beat the Gamecocks in the former Outback Bowl, what it was, Cheez-It Bowl, whatever. The 8.5 wins. Now they got just some plus money there for them to win 8.5 games. I think they potentially go under that. They've got a tough schedule as well. Nobody talks about they lost their leading receiver from last year. Guy went for over 1,000 yards. They also lost their leading rusher. I think his name's McCrary, hit the portal, went to Georgia. But for some reason, everybody is enamored with this Luke Altmaier dude, and they are putting them up there as some kind of dark horse playoff contender. I don't see it. They've got a tough road test early in the season as well. I think it's week 2. They go on the road to Duke. And that's a sleepy game that nobody's really talking about. I think they lose to Duke. And I think they go under 8.5 wins on the year. I think they're like an 8-4 team. But I don't see them going over that. And I definitely don't see them in the college football playoff.
All right. As cheap as it is, I'm going to take Colorado too. We open with them, so obviously I've been going a little bit back and forth with their fan base. As far as that game's concerned in particular, there's not two teams that are more diametrically opposed in how they approach the game of football. One's worried about Twitter handles on their jerseys, stats, looking good, looking cool, getting Darth Vader keychains and wearing them around practice. And the other one's worried about knocking your dick into the ground. So it would not surprise me if Tech wins that game by 3 scores. And I'm not even trolling with that. I legitimately think Georgia Tech could blow them out in Boulder. But look, I had to eat crow on Colorado last year. I'm right with Pete. You know, they do have a pretty good quarterback they bring in to replace Sanders, and they also have a 5-star in Juju Lewis. The problem with Juju Lewis is he's a prima donna. I actually know people that know Juju Lewis. And everyone I've ever talked to that knows Juju Lewis says he thinks a lot of himself, you know. So I think Colorado is probably the worst place for him to go, period, for having that kind of mentality. And I think it could be a disaster. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to do as bad as they did last year. I'm going to copy Pete here. I'm going to say they're going to go about 6-6. Would not surprise me if they missed a bowl, though, at 5-7, depending on how things go. From the Big Ten, I'm going to go with UCLA. They're a team that's kind of they were talked about for a while when Nico went over there, but I think Nico going over there could be somewhat of a distraction for them, especially if you're a guy that's been there a while, and then this guy whose parents bitch whined and complained to everybody basically got him to transfer If you've been there for a while, you might be thinking, this guy's making $2 million a year or 4 or whatever he's making. I even thought that about Georgia Tech when we brought in Petty. We had one really good offensive lineman hit the portal, and I thought, man, maybe that's because a guy that's never played a down for you is making $800,000 a year. But yeah, so I've got UCLA going 6-6. Probably at a maximum with Nico.
Well, I mean, I think you're right. I don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
I mean, look at last year. I mean, I hate to say it because I ain't giving Tennessee any credit, but he was playing around some really talented dudes last year, and he really basically contributed nothing. He to what, turn around and hand the ball off to Dylan Sampson every play. I mean, that's what they did. I mean, the majority of his touchdown passes were in the games where they were in the non-SEC game, the games where they were blowing people out.
Yeah.
UT Chattanooga and the likes of that. So I don't know. His game to me last year when I watched him, he just seems lazy. Like he's just kind of going through the motions. You know, he reminds me of the ukulele.
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, I mean, is it not? I mean, like all the talent in the world, but just like you're football lazy.
Yeah, and I think it kind of puts a kid in an impossible position when he comes in making the money Nico does. First of all, Tennessee was the first team to do that with a high school recruit. So that puts an expectation on you that's probably almost impossible to live up to. Like, how could he have lived up to the expectation at Tennessee? Take him to the playoffs inside of 2 years or something, and then if he does that, he's got to go deeper. I just think he was probably in a bad spot, and I think his parents are morons. So we're going to take a quick timeout.
Just like the ukulele.
Just like, yeah, I mean, you're right.
I mean, his dad was like all over. He was like a Twitter machine. He was all up in Dabo's business, and
he was saying crazy things on Twitter.
And this dude was nuts. I mean, I heard somebody sent me a little clip of some things he was saying in a Twitter space.
I'm sure Pete knows.
A couple of years ago. And how old are you, dude? Like 50?
Yeah, he would go in these Twitter spaces and like want to fight people.
I'm like, you're talking like this to guys that are like 20 years old, and you're like my age. You're like 50.
Before his last season at Clemson, he blocked his own dad on Twitter.
Dang, man. You know how unhinged you have to be for your son to be like, yeah, man, I can't even associate with you on social media anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick 45-second break to thank and introduce our sponsors. We'll be right back. All right, so you can use promo code WreckTalk to get a discount on your beard oils today and cologne. Man, you want to smell good. You know what? And I'm not even making this up. I wasn't paid to even say this. My ex-wife really likes their colognes. So if that means something to you. All right, what I really wanted to get into, and this really shocked me, is the Arch Manning hype warranted? That he is a favorite to win the Heisman right now, above Cade Klubnik, and above like Nussmeier, everyone else. It looks like Pete's ready to go. We'll just pass it to Pete.
Well, I feel two different ways about this. That's why, it's because I do feel like the hype is warranted because, I mean, we've been listening about this guy for the past 3 or 4, well, since he was a junior in high school at least, so 4 years, I guess. And he's on one of the best teams and, the loaded rosters in the country in Texas. He's not starting as a true freshman, so he's had some time to acclimate to the college game to lead up to this year. And his last name is Manning. So all of those things would say, yes, the hype is real, but Heisman, let's pump our brakes a little bit here. You've got at least a half a dozen proven good or great players across the country. He's not proven yet. So I think why the hype should be there, it's a little bit too much hype.
All right, we'll go to Jackpot.
I mean, I think the hype is warranted. I mean, I don't have his stats from last year in front of me, but I mean,
It's like 950 yards with like 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, something like that.
Okay. All right. But the thing with him is people see the last name Manning and they think he's going to play like Peyton and Eli and sling the ball over the place. He's not. He's more of a dual threat. It's more like Grandpa Archie because he is kind of a dual threat quarterback from what I understand. Never really personally watched him play. But with the team he's on, like Pete said, it's a loaded roster. I mean, they're the favorite to win the national championship. Wouldn't be surprised if they do. So that's a big part of living up to the hype is having the pieces around you to make it go. And I think he does. So I mean, I think Heisman talk could be. I mean, it's a little bit premature, but he doesn't have the body of work that some of these other guys have. But it just seems like everybody. I mean, we're talking about Nussmeier, Klubnik. These two had good seasons last year, but everybody's coming off of like one really good year. I mean, nobody builds a solid career up to being that senior. And now I'm a Heisman Trophy contender as a senior, and I've been playing since I was a freshman. I think everything just comes so much quicker now. So I think that, I mean, he's a legitimate Heisman contender. I think he's going to live up to the hype. And this is another one too, dual threat. I mean, that opens you up for a larger, or not, what am I saying? A bigger chance to get injured in a game. So, I mean, barring that, I think that, I think the guy's the real deal. So, yeah, I mean, I'd have to say it probably is. This is not SEC homer talking because, I mean, I could give two shits about Texas. I mean, I honestly, I don't like any teams in the SEC other than mine.
I believe that.
You gotta give credit where it's at, where it's due. So, yeah, I'm gonna. So that hype's warranted.
Plus, the Heisman is a popularity contest mostly, and he's going to get more votes just based on his name. I mean, how many of the Heisman voters are like friendly with Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and that Manning family?
Most of them, probably.
So if it's a tie, on the field, Arch is going to win that 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, look, I had to take my sunglasses off for this because I don't get this at all. Yeah, in fact, you know what I thought, and y'all guys might run me off the show for this. I thought Shedeur Sanders, his name bought him a lot of hype and popularity, and he should be good. Other than Arch Manning's name, there is nothing else that would tell you this guy should be a Heisman candidate quarterback. Nothing. And just statistically, what are the odds of a third Manning being some world beater guy, which is what he's built up to be? By the way, those 950 yards came against like Mississippi State, UTEP or something, and like another team that's not very good. So he's not proven.
And UTEP runs the West, sir.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I should. Any quarterback that plays well against UTEP should be in the Heisman race.
You should be under consideration for something.
But I guess, then why would Gunnar Stockton not be expected to be? Like, he's got a lot of weapons around him as well. Georgia's a loaded team, and screw myself for even speaking well of Georgia. But I just think, again, this sets up Arch Manning for a horrible fall off a pedestal. Because if he's just an average quarterback, people are going to be like, yep, this guy sucks, no good, even though that's probably not fair to the kid. So that's my take on it. By the way, the AP coaches poll has come out. I'm going to put it up on the screen here, cover our faces. I'll just read through it real quick. Boise State at 25. Texas Tech, a team that's spending more money than Arab royalty right now at 24. BYU, Mormons at 23. Texas A&M tied for 21 with Iowa State. Kansas State. What do we got? Iowa, Tennessee, Florida, SMU, Ole Miss. Michigan at 14. Curious to me. Carolina Jackpots team at 13. Illinois, you got Arizona State at 11. And then the top 10. Miami at 10, LSU at 9, Alabama at 8, Oregon at 7, Clemson coming in at 6, Notre Dame at 5, Georgia at 4, Penn State at 3, Ohio State at 2, Texas at 1, and they play at the beginning of this year. I'm going to go back to Jackpot. Tell me what they got right here and what they got wrong.
I think they got a lot wrong.
Tell us about
Let's see. Well, once again, I already told you what I think about Illinois.
They're
I think
ranked
that's
ahead of you.
definitely that's too high. I think Michigan. I mean, given the body of work what we saw from them last year, I mean, I think they're putting a little bit too much into the Ohio State upset and then the bowl game against Bama. I think they're more of like a top 20 team. I don't know if number 14 is what they say. I'm going to go on ahead and call out mine too. I think South Carolina's too high.
Okay.
I mean, I would consider putting them down at 21, 22, something like that. But they've got to replace a lot of pieces on their defense. A lot of pieces that made a lot of things happen last year. And granted, they've recruited well. They've got some decent players they brought in out of the portal, but they're not – these are not names that anyone's familiar with. I'm not familiar with a lot of them. I haven't seen a guy's name. All I know is people tell me, yeah, they look good in practice. Okay, yeah, they look good playing against each other. Yeah, and then I hear some coach saying, the offense can't score on our defense right now in practice. Well, that's all well and good. But until we saw them take the field last year, that defensive line got pushed around for several years in a row. So, I mean, I know Dylan Stewart's a great player. The rest of it, Jalen Kilgore in the secondary, I know is a really good player. Outside of that, I mean, I'm going to have to see it first before I can start putting any stock into it. So just with so many unknowns, I'm not going to just speculate and put you in here at number 13 just because you've got a stud quarterback. We don't know who our running back is yet. Our wide receivers aren't really proven right now. So let's kind of pump the brakes on all that talk right now. I think Boise State may be a little bit low. I mean, I know they lost Ashton Genty, but I mean, is there anybody that really is going to compete with the team? I mean, they just seem to kind of reload every year. I think SMU, like what we talked about with their schedule, and that maybe preseason, okay, I can see it, but I think there's going to be a fall off there. Number 16 for them seems to be high, as does 17 for Florida. I think South Carolina, Florida, both are like top 25 teams, not top 15 teams. I think SMU probably in the same category there. And then Illinois, I don't know. I think Texas A&M in this thing too also might be a little bit too low. They're returning a lot. They got a dual threat quarterback coming back. That Marcel Reed kind of learned the system last year. He kind of developed a little bit. They did fall off at the end of the year, but they had a running back who was probably going to rush for about 1,300 yards. He was on pace to do that, Le'Veon Moss, and he got injured in the game against Carolina, ended up with the season. I think he had like 800 yards total. He was out for the year in that game. That's a big one that's returning for them. I think Mike Elko is a really good coach, and I think they're going to be dangerous this year. I mean, I think they're a team that's going to contend for a playoff spot, kind of in a dark horse to me. They got the whole Texas 8-4 joke. Eventually, they're going to end up putting it together at some point in time. There's just too much talent there, and I think Elko is a good coach. He almost turned that corner last year. If it hadn't been for that injury, I think he may have. So look out for those guys.
All right. I think there's two teams on here that stick out to me as being wrong, as being too high. One, Arizona State. I know they've got Levitt and a really good wide receiver, but they lose Scadaboo. Scadaboo is not on this team, and I don't know how you guys feel. It just looks like 11 is way too high. I'd maybe have them where Tennessee is instead of at 11, but to have them nearly cracking the top 10 looks off to me. So someone said FSU too high. Wherever they're ranked, it is certainly too high. And also, I guess the preseason Falcons game got ended early due to an injury. It must have been a nasty one. I hope whoever got injured is okay. The second one that might be a bit high on here, maybe this is controversial, is BYU. BYU loses their starting quarterback. That's kind of their whole offense. So I might even pull them out of the top 25. And obviously, the biggest thing wrong with this list is there's no Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech should be at least 25 on this list. I don't think there's any disagreement there, Pete.
I would agree.
I actually agree with you about the Georgia Tech thing. I can't believe they're not in there. I'm going to take a little bit of a different angle here because I love the coaches poll out of all the major polls that are published more than anything else because they are clearly the most biased polls. I mean, okay, does the AP poll in the second week of August matter at the end of the year? No, because we got the CFP. They have their own ranking system. But in my opinion, even though the CFP says they don't look at the AP rankings throughout the year, they do because they go, they have this many ranked wins. That means, well, if you're not paying attention to the AP, then how do you know they were ranked? So they're lying. But the coaches poll is hilarious to me. Can you imagine when Lane Kiffin woke up the morning of the coaches poll release and saw that Clemson was ranked ahead of them? I mean, this is just great. Do you think that Lane Kiffin voted Clemson to be in the top 10? Absolutely not. He probably didn't even put him in the top 25 in his poll. So it's just silly. But and a lot of these polls are silly. But if I'm looking at this and saying how I would change it based on my preseason view, I agree with you about both Arizona State and BYU. I think Illinois at 12. What do we do? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I think some of these coaches were scared that Brett Bielema was going to beat them up if they didn't rank him high enough.
I think the top 10 is decent. I mean, I might have a slightly different order, but I think the top 10 is okay. After that, it kind of turns into a bit of a mess there.
Oh, interesting thing too about this coaches poll. And some of you probably already knew this, but I listened to this guy out of New Jersey that he had a Sirius XM show, and he does some stuff on YouTube and on X named Joe Lisi, and he does gambling stuff. He really likes college football. He's big time into the NFL. Well, he hosts a show with former Auburn coach, former ULM coach, former Clemson, like an analyst, I think, Terry Bowden, who's he's retired now. But Terry Bowden was on there with him. I think it was Tuesday night. We were coming back from one of our little ventures here on our vacation. I was listening to their show, and he was asking Terry about this coaches poll. He said, "Is this thing really accurate?" And no. Yeah, Terry made no bones about it. He said, there are a lot of coaches that do take a little bit of time and look into this thing and do it. He said, but man, he's like, there's a lot of them out there. He said, they just mail this thing in, man. He said, they'll hand this off to an analyst or they'll hand this off to some lackey and say, here, fill this out, give us back to me. Let me look over it, and I'll go ahead and send it in.
Unfortunately, Dabo doesn't do that. I wish he would. You guys remember in 2020 when he had the final coaches poll, he had Ohio State outside of the playoffs, and then Clemson goes on to lose to Ohio State in the playoffs. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I mean, that's just, come on. It's like, Dabo, just give it to, like he said, your secretary or some assistant or somebody. Just stay out of this shit.
Yeah, because they hadn't played enough games or something. That was during the weird pandemic year, right?
Yeah, so they only played 6 games and everybody else played 8 or some shit whatever it was. But he had a point. But don't put them outside the playoffs and then lose to them. Come on, man.
You can't do that. Yeah. All right. Look, now we're 15 days away from kicking off the first game. A little further to some of these other games. This might be the toughest questions we've ever asked on the show. What is the best week 1 game, and which one has the biggest implications? In other words, do any of these week 1 games have playoff implications? I'm just going to go through some of these week 1 games since I'm looking at them. Obviously, Georgia Tech and Colorado play on a Friday, August the 29th. Then you've got even like Syracuse at Tennessee. Might be interesting. That's a neutral site, though. Texas at Ohio State. Could that have playoff implications if one of them ends up with 2 or 3 losses? Let's see who else is. Well, we can laugh at Alabama at Florida State. I know Notre Dame and Miami play. Anyways, LSU at Clemson. We'll start with Jackpot. Which one are you most excited to watch, and which one do you think has the biggest implications week 1?
I'm most excited to watch LSU Clemson because I like offense. I mean, I think it's going to be a rather high scoring game. I think it's going to be a great environment. I think that I think LSU is going to come to play. I'm not, my heart says I want LSU to win. My mind says go with Clemson. That's probably the way I'm going to lean there. It just seems like the kind of game that they're going to win. I think that place is going to be lit. It's going to be rocking. So that one's going to be really exciting to me. Texas and Ohio State, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like we're seeing a lesser than version of Ohio State to start off with. So that's kind of, and then it's a noon game. So just a little bit less excitement there for me on that one. In terms of playoff implications, I don't think either one of those really have. They do, but they don't have playoff implications because, well, it does. I think for LSU because I think LSU they're going to drop a couple of conference games. So a win here, if they go 10-2, they lose 2 conference games and win this one, and then run the table. I mean, it could set them up. With Clemson, I mean, if they lose it. I mean, I honestly think they run the table in the ACC. So not as much if they end up dropping it. What else? I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that Syracuse Tennessee game. I think that if Tennessee goes out there and they play well, this new quarterback Joey. Group of 5, whatever they call him, plays well. I think it's going to do wonders for their confidence. Joey Aguilar. I think it's going to do wonders for their confidence there. If it's a tight ball game, if they just barely win, or if Syracuse somehow pulls off some kind of miracle upset, which it would be a miracle because they've lost a ton of their roster. Watching the Tennessee meltdown on social media is going to be absolutely priceless. I don't think it's going to happen though. I couldn't be that blessed. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Miami. I know I haven't mentioned that one yet. That could have playoff implications for Notre Dame. If they and I think that one, I think they're favored there. But I think if they go down there and drop that game, I mean, they cannot lose another game. They can't slip up the rest of the year, or they won't make it in. Since they're not in the conference, I mean.
Well, Miami lost 2 games last year and we got left out, so probably could for Miami too, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true, but Miami's 2 losses were conference losses, though.
This is true.
So, I mean, this is not a conference loss, and with Notre Dame not being in one, they can't really afford to lose another game. Which they last year, you got to give them credit, they didn't. And this year their schedule is a little tougher because I mean they do play Texas A&M at home, and then they go on the road to Arkansas. I mean I know that looks like an easy win, a lopsided victory for the Irish, but stranger things have happened. I mean I wouldn't be totally shocked out of my shoes if Arkansas pulled off some kind of upset there. So that one's going to be huge. South Carolina's game is going to be huge for them. This has got to be a huge confidence builder for us. We've got to see what we've got. They cannot have a shitty performance where they win this game by like 4 points and play terrible and fart around with almost losing. They're another team that doesn't play well in opening games, and they need to break that trend. This shit needs to come to an end. And they need to blow this team out. They got all new coordinators. They lost half their roster of the transfer portal. Virginia Tech, I'm talking about. They restocked it with transfer portal talent that is not as good as the transfer portal talent they lost. on paper, South Carolina should blow them out. That's what they need to go down there and do. And if they don't, I'm going to be back pissed off again. Just going to tell you.
All right, I'll go.
It's going to
next.
happen. It's going to happen.
I agree.
I'm going to be yelling at Shane Beamer again.
Don't yell at Shane Beamer. Don't make. What did he do? Kick a trash can or something? Break his foot? Don't do that.
He kicked the Gatorade cooler. Apparently,
It must have been full. You got to empty that thing out before you go
well, I
kick
should
it.
have drank more damn Gatorade. They probably didn't play good enough to get out of.
Yeah, you got to shower them.
Yes, they need to drink the damn Gatorade.
I don't know how you can get better than Tigers versus Tigers with the same stadium name. I mean, that just pits to be a fantastic matchup. Now, I guess Nussmeier has got some patella injury. That would be a heartbreaker if he's not healthy for that game. I'll let Pigskin Pete speak to it, but I don't think any Clemson fan wants anything less than 100% LSU team to come in there. And also a game that could have playoff implications, particularly for LSU. Like you were saying, I don't think LSU is going to win their conference or make a conference title game. So having a loss on their record aside from that's going to be tough. I think the one with the biggest playoff implications is Notre Dame, Miami. Miami hasn't proven that they can get over that hump of losing to a team like Georgia Tech, and this is going to be me kind of crapping on my own team. How much more talented, just raw talent, was Miami than Georgia Tech last year? Probably a full letter grade almost everywhere. They had no business losing that game, so they probably can't afford to drop a loss early to Notre Dame like that. And just as a side note, if you stretch the definition of best, TCU at North Carolina might be the most entertaining game to watch. That'll be Bill Belichick's first game.
That too. Is that a Thursday night game?
It's a Monday night game, Labor Day.
Monday night game. So that wasn't off the radar. We didn't mention also Auburn Baylor Friday night.
That is true. Let's pass it to Pete. What do you got, man?
Boy, playoff implications in August is a tough one to talk about. I do think, though, that, however, there is several games that could potentially have playoff implications. I actually disagree with Jackpot. He said he thought it could be I think he said he thought it could be playoff implications for LSU, but not Clemson. Is that what you said?
I think he said the opposite.
Because I think they're going to drop a conference game or two. So
So here's where I disagree with you. I think we're all just giving Clemson the ACC, and I think that's a mistake. Let's say that Clemson loses to LSU, and then maybe they drop either a game to Georgia Tech or Louisville, so one conference loss. Now they've got two losses, and then they go to the ACC championship game and lose that, so they're not automatically in. That's 3-loss Clemson, and with a big loss week 1 to LSU. That's where I think that could matter. Now that's a lot of what ifs. And I think you could do the same thing with LSU. I mean, I'm not into LSU with Texas and Ohio State. Although Ohio State's probably more of a shoe-in to get in than Texas in that situation, because they're probably more likely to win their conference than Texas is to win the SEC. But I agree with WreckTalk, actually. I think probably if you're picking the one that has the biggest implications, I'm going with Notre Dame and Miami. I mean, it seems like the obvious choice because Miami could lose the ACC championship game to Clemson, and they need a big win against somebody like Notre Dame to get the at-large bid in there. And the same thing, well, Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, so they need all of those big wins they can get. So I mean, that's a huge one for them too. But I think out of all of them, it's going to be the Miami and Notre Dame.
Yeah, and this really sets up to what is important to the playoff committee, because Clemson, you think, well, they have an easier path in the ACC. But does a SEC team with a harder schedule that can manage? Because I'm thinking like they're equally talented about LSU and Clemson. So would you rather have an easier path or a harder path with a little more leniency from the playoff committee? I don't know how that pans out. That's the argument every freaking SEC coach tends to want to have these days. But we shall see. We're getting here toward the end, and there are two topics I want to hit. Number one, and I'll start off with this one. Bill Belichick, I'm sure you guys have heard this, talking about North Carolina being the 33rd NFL team. He said it at like almost every press conference. It was all over ACC Media Days. You know, everyone storming in to see the juggernaut that is the freaking Tar Heels that haven't done jack shit since Ronald Reagan was president. 1980 was Jimmy Carter might have even been president. Georgia Tech grad. Anyways, meanwhile, the Duke and like NC State media room, they're like empty. They're all there to see Bill Belichick talking about the 33rd NFL team. I actually think this is one of the largest indictments. Aside from Jordan Hudson, if you are going to try and run a college football team like an NFL team, you're a flat out moron. That's not going to work. The only thing that college and pros share is they play the same game as far as how it's actuated, how it's managed. They even have different rules, right? Nothing is the same. That's why you have so many college coaches abandoning their college teams to go to the NFL because it's easier. So you're telling me a guy that's, I don't know, old enough to be Bob Hope's grandfather is going to come in with something that is harder, that is a young man's game, and make it an NFL team? I think it's straight Stupidsville. I don't understand it. And man, I have a hard on to watch this team this year because it's going to be hilarious. Really quick, Eddie, your part of your name's cut off. I think it's Black something. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Says WreckTalk subbed and found you through Jackpot. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Jackpot, as well. Great show. Watch Pete also. That's great. I found you through Jackpot. Also, I watch Pete. But anyways, diehard South Carolina fan here, even with son attending Taterville, or South Carolina fan, yeah, but with full ride. Well, I appreciate that, man.
I gave them all the link to your channel in my video yesterday, so they could come over here and get subbed up.
Thank you
for the debate, and told them they need to stick around too.
We're going to be masturbators a week from today. Let's go to Jackpot. What do you think about this Belichick in general and this 33rd NFL team horseshit?
So is this something he came out and said?
Many, many times.
Yeah, I think his team. I think they'll be disciplined. I think they'll be well coached. You've noticed the stuff with the girlfriend. All that. It's all kind of died out. Nobody's really talking about that anymore. So it looks like he's got them focused. I don't know, man. I question their talent level.
Yeah,
I don't know who they've got on their team. What names do they have on their team that we should know? They've got a transfer portal quarterback from South Alabama who was decent, but at South Alabama.
Someone in the chat name a decent North Carolina player. Go
outside
ahead.
of that, yeah, I don't know who anybody on their roster is.
They lost their best offensive player, Amari at
Hampton. And their best defensive player in the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's all. Some of these coaches just come out and say the silliest things on social media in these places because they're all saying so much dumb shit now that they know in a week someone's going to have said 10 more things dumber and more outlandish than what they just said, that what they said is going to be forgotten. But
sounds like what we do.
I think his team's going to be disciplined. I think they'll be decent. I think it's like a 6-win football team. They've got a very easy schedule, though. I looked at it, and they play Clemson at home. But
they always have an easy schedule.
Outside of that, they're not tested that much. It wouldn't be crazy to think they could win 7 or 8 games, but as far as for contending for a conference championship or something, I don't see it. All
right, Pete.
We've talked about this a little bit before on one of the older shows, but I just think this is going to be a complete disaster with Bill Belichick. And I think, honestly, somebody needs to do a wellness check on this guy. The cheese is definitely slid off the cracker. And this isn't the first time that we've seen a coach take the approach that I'm going to run this college team like an NFL team because I was so successful in the NFL. I've got some sort of privy to some sort of information that every other college coach in the history of college football doesn't have. And do you remember when Herm Edwards took the job at Arizona State?
Yeah.
I'll never forget this. I was listening to a radio program I guess it was on ESPN satellite radio or whatever it was. It was right when he was hired. And he was on the show, and they were asking him about how he's going to run the program and blah, blah, blah. And I love Herm Edwards. This is not a Herm Edwards hating thing. You know, he's a classic all-time great. But he said right there, he said, I know people say it can't be done, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to run Arizona State like an NFL program. I'm going to hire a bunch of people from the NFL. We're going to treat this like a pro franchise or a semi-pro franchise. We're not going to do what everybody else does in college football. Well, fast forward, how did that work out? It didn't. Every coach that's tried to do this has failed miserably. And I get whenever you're somebody of Bill Belichick's stature, and I mean a solidified Hall of Famer, who some people might say be the greatest head coach in the NFL of all time, and that's debatable too.
Sure.
But you're used to getting your ass kissed constantly, and nothing you do is wrong. No idea you have is bad. Then you start banging a 25-year-old. She starts telling you all of your ideas are great because she wants your money, and then it's just a slippery slope from there. I just think it's going to be a complete disaster. 33rd NFL team, my ass.
By the way, speaking of banging 20-year-olds and or 19-year-olds, did you see that Shannon Sharp settled his lawsuit? I don't know that the amount was disclosed. I mean, it was probably $10 million or something. If you don't know, he was banging a 19-year-old. She said, hey, you assaulted me in some way. The day after the settlement, she announced her retirement from OnlyFans. She says, hey, want to thank the community. I'm out. I won the game, baby. So anyways, appreciate the $10 super chat. I hate that it cuts off people's names. I'll look at your name. Is it Joel? Is that your name? Joelish. Sorry, Joelish. I guess I could make that a little bigger, and then I could see your name. We have technology. He says, hey, saw Jackpot on that lesser streamer Uncle Lou's channel. And now he is on the far superior WreckTalk. This guy's a genius. This guy's a freaking genius. Ask him how he feels about Jeff Collins coming to South Carolina. You know what? He was the one who told me about it. I wasn't even aware of it. What do you think, Jackpot? And I'll put before you answer that, I'm going to put a poll up for who y'all think won. Y'all vote while he tells us about how he feels about Jeff Collins, because no one knows how I feel about him.
Well, he's in a position where I think that he can actually benefit the program and where he can do the least amount of damage. I don't think he's making any decisions, and I don't think he's not even coaching a position right now. He's just like he's a member of the defensive support staff. I think from what I'm understanding here, and
off the field,
Coach Beamer's really high on him. So I mean, for whatever that's worth, I mean he can't harm us from the position that he's in. Just don't, please God. I mean, if Clayton White, takes a head coaching job, which he was rumored to be, in the hunt. I think it was for the Charlotte job last offseason, and there were a couple of other lower level jobs that he was rumored to be in. For God's sake, please don't promote this guy. I mean, especially when you look at what he did last year. I mean, he's basically, his horrendous defense basically led to Mac Brown's unfortunate exit from the game of college football, and the man was going to quit at halftime of a game against James Madison. Can you imagine? Imagine that for being in the game for 40 plus years. And you're going to go out against James Madison at halftime. That's sad. It really is. So as long as he doesn't make any further up the ladder here, I'm good with it.
Just keep him away from your program.
Don't make him the defensive coordinator, please, because he fucking sucks at his job. That's obvious. Can't hold on to one.
No, but I'll tell you what, if you need to
everything he touches,
if you start a new job and you need a contract, whoever that son of a bitch has working his deals out, that's who you want. That man's getting paid by two schools, I think, for attempted murder of their programs.
Plus, he also lost to the Citadel. So we've already got that.
Why'd we have to bring that up
on our resume in the past twice? We don't need it again.
By the way, did you know that he's a self-proclaimed triple option expert and he lost to the Citadel? Did you know that I challenged him to a cage match and then he blocked me on Twitter soon after because he's a pussy? Did you know that?
Not.
All right. Well, we're all learning something. We're all learning something tonight. This might be bravado for me, but I do think he is aware of who I am. I actually sent Jackpot a coaching clinic I recorded that I attended by posing as a coach, and I didn't end up making it public because it was in remembrance of some coach that had died. But he names his defenses like he's the minister of mayhem. He names his defenses like Tropical Storm and Hurricane Havoc. So good luck with that, Jackpot. Pete, what do you have? Who do you need to trash on? I mean, we're kind of having our group therapy.
I don't know. That was you threw Jackpot kind of a softball there. I don't know. Who do you want me to trash?
Trash North Carolina, because here's the thing.
I can do that all day.
Can you imagine an idiot like me being more correct about your team than you are? I've tried to tell North Carolina. Did you guys not hear me say this man will retire Mac Brown inside of 1 year? It's on record. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah. I just think it's funny watching now it's a trifecta of fans. You had the Georgia Tech fans, the North Carolina fans, and now the Jackpot people, the Gamecock fans. It's trying to figure out who thinks he's a bigger douchebag than the other. That's the fun part for me because I don't have any skin in the game. You know what I mean?
No one's taking the crown from me.
I kind of wish he was still at North Carolina only because Clemson plays North Carolina this year. But other than that, I guess we play South Carolina too. What's his official job there? Is he like shining Shane Beamer's shoes or what's he doing?
Jock strap holder, sniffer.
He's getting hot dogs for Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
Well,
is he the person that holds the umbrella over Shane Beamer's head?
He's holding the Gatorade cooler steady.
They try to shield Beamer from getting the Duke's mayonnaise bath after Duke's mayo bowl.
This is the perfect job for him. All right, and then we'll close the poll. So vote in the poll right now. Decide who won. This guy, after he lost to James Madison, this is his job, went on a 5-minute tirade about the get back coach. Now, do either one of you know what a get back coach is?
Oh, I do.
It's that guy that holds your little belt loop from running out in the field, and he goes, let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you about the get back coaches I've had in the past. John Joe over here, he was my get back coach. He's holding the jock strap over there at Wisconsin now. So that would be a perfect job for him, jock polisher, get back coach, what have you. But I'll tell you what, I wish you would have hired him as DC. I would have had an erection that I'd had to go to the doctor for it.
Well, one last thing on Jeff Collins. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in person was that when they came to Clemson, I was at that game, and they had the players with the dumbbells on the sidelines doing the workouts. They brought the whole workout bench out there. They're out there before the game with their jersey lifted up to show their stomach, and they're out there doing. And I'm like, what in the hell is going? I thought they were shooting some kind of commercial for Gatorade or something. I was like, what is going on?
That was to intimidate you.
Yeah, I hadn't seen anything that silly since Tennessee brought that trash can out that time.
That's where he can go next. He could go to Tennessee.
With the number 119 or something. I don't remember what it was. Painted on. If they were actually playing Georgia Tech the first time I ever saw this, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like, they're gonna play basketball with it. I mean, what is this?
The trash can, baby. The jacket. It's the jacket. All right, we're gonna close the poll in 1 minute. You got 1 minute to get your vote in and vote for me. So that's how that's going to work. I tell you what, while we close out this minute, we're going to go around. Give me one team no one's talking about that's going to make a conference championship in the Power Four. I'm thinking of like Arizona State last year. They were picked last in their conference. You can't pick Georgia Tech or someone like that because everyone's talking about them. Jackpot, who's a team that's going to make a Power Four conference championship that's not on anyone's radar right now?
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Okay. They're this year's Arizona State.
I think so. I think so. I like their quarterback. I like their running back. I think they've got a really, really good head coach as well. They're just the talent level is just a little bit above what you see at Kansas. Tough, hard-nosed football team. I think they're going to set the tone. They're in Ireland. in week 0. I think they beat Iowa State, and I think they end up winning that Big 12 championship.
All right. I'm going to disagree with you slightly. I've got Texas Tech. No one is spending more money than them right now, and they got the Jimmies and the Joes to do it. In fact, they got a kid off Tech's team, probably our best defensive lineman last year. Texas Tech. I haven't, I've heard a lot of people
Who's their quarterback? I don't know.
I don't know. I know that they spent more money in the portal than any team last year, though.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. I read somewhere LSU had the biggest were the number 1 transfer portal rated class, but
I don't actually know that. I just don't.
So Texas Tech spent. Well, I mean, it could be one was the highest rated portal class, but the other one spent more money.
If I was given points, I would give you
hand in hand
points for giving me a way out there. Real quick, Jolis with the $20. Appreciate it, buddy. Let me make sure I didn't miss one.
Thank you.
20 of them. Pete, I ran into Collins in Atlanta. Holy shit, are you okay? I'm a Clemson fan and a Tech fan. And I said
Virginia
I was
Tech or Georgia Tech.
I'm assuming Georgia Tech. I was excited for the Tech season, and I have to get used to the season being spelt this way. I'm, about to be 40, I guess. And all that he said to me was, "You need to get a new hat," because I had a Clemson hat and a Tech shirt on that day. Jolis, you probably heard the most sensible thing the man's ever said. So appreciate the $20 super chat. Pete, who's no one talking about that's going to a Power 4 conference champ?
Oh, so I really like your pick with the Texas Tech for the same reasons that you stated. So I'm going to go way off the map. I wanted to play to the home crowd here, since this is a Tech channel, and say that Georgia Tech is the obvious answer. But is it? Are they under the radar? I feel like they're getting a lot of love.
I don't think they are under the radar. It makes me nervous.
So that takes me now. Where do I go? This might show how stupid I really am. You ready for this one here?
Let's see how stupid you are.
Southern Cal. Everybody's written Southern Cal off. And look, and maybe they are going to be terrible again, but it's still a Lincoln Riley team. The problem is their schedule, and they have to play. They do dodge Notre Dame. Do they play Notre Dame this year? Or no?
I don't know.
That series is coming to an end. That rivalry is. Yeah.
That won't matter for the conference championship anyway, I guess. I guess the most obvious one that nobody's talking about is one of the biggest brands in college football, with one of the highest paid coaches in college football, and one of the hottest recruiting beds in college football, even though I don't believe in their defense on any given year. You got to go with the most talented one out of all of them, and I'm going to go with USC, I guess.
Who
believe me, I'm not confident about that.
Well, I don't know if this is. I remember it was before. It was last year. He went out and hired the defensive coordinator from across town at UCLA. I think because this guy had like a top 15 defense or something in 2023, and they played okay for a couple of games. I mean, I think he kind of won them the LSU game to start the season, and then they just started getting progressively worse. So does anybody know, is he still there, or have they moved on from him already? Because he wants to you're never going to be able to build some kind of foundation if you don't give anybody more than 1 year. So I'm wondering about that. Sid Irish says no.
Well, Pete giving more love to one USC than the other. It's interesting. All right, 10. We're going to close the poll in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. I can't count that much. We're in the poll now. All right, let's see who won the show. And it looks like Pete has won it again. And I came in last on my own show. So if you ever feel down in life, just remember that. Pete, what do you have to tell the people in back-to-back victories on the RecTalk channel?
It's been a long time coming. I did not vote for myself. I actually voted for Carolina Jackpot this time, just to put that out there. But I accept the win. This has been a great show ever since you started putting it on, RecTalk. And just one win is good enough for me, but 2 is even better. Actually, twice as much better.
I'm doing the math. That is correct. Yes, that is correct. Well, guys, I appreciate everyone for coming up, showing up. I thank you to the panelists for coming on and talking shop with Rec. Look, we'll be doing this in 2 weeks. I think that'll be the last Friday before we get college football going. So you want to check in for that. And then next week, it's going to be fireworks, baby. We got Carolina Jackpot and his good buddy, Sports Talk Jay, debating on whether Jackpot's team is a bunch of dirty sons of bitches and cheaters. So that should be fun. Guys, Jackpot, I'll actually give you the last word here. What you got going on other than the debate? Do you have something to say about the debate before we get out of here?
I just, guys, come over here for this thing next Friday night. It's going to be fun. It is in good spirits. It is, but it isn't, because I do have a point to prove here. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of folks over here that are not going to be on my side in this thing, because with these Tennessee people, with any type of social media thing, Twitter or YouTube, whatever it is, it's like their fan base is so huge they come at you like a tidal wave. Okay, so we need some folks over here in Carolina Jackpot's corner to come over here and combat that tidal wave, because you know, guys, I'm going to hit you with facts. I'm bringing facts. 63 points, guys. 63 points. Over 500 yards of offense. Tennessee, pass defense, right near the bottom in 2022. Those are all facts. The Connor Stallion stuff, all speculation. All message board rumors started out by butthurt fans to try to explain away a loss. They just cannot seem to get over. I mean, I've had to deal with losses my entire life. I mean, this team's been handing me L's every other week since the early 80s. I mean, shit. I mean, I've gotten really used to this by now. Gotten used to eating crow and learning to like the taste of it. So why it's so hard for you people to do it, I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. You need to get right with the world. And go over here and support Carolina Jackpot in that deal.
All right, we'll get out of here with that. Jackpot says to Tennessee fans, get right with the world. Get some Tony Robbins
right with the world.
in your life. Y'all have a good one.